Hey y'all. I know it's Thursday. It's not Wednesday. But we had a dear relative pass yesterday from this thing that we're dealing with right now, this COVID thing. So, it does not discriminate. It is a vicious thing. So could not come on yesterday, but I am here today because she would want me to continue on, and that's what I shall do. So welcome. I'm Deborah Porter with Mom's Mentoring Circle, where we support moms with being great moms, not the perfect mom because she doesn't exist, but being a great mom and a grateful woman, being able to have the systems in place to do what it takes to get that first job done while not having to sacrifice yourself for the betterment of the whole. So being able to do what needs to be done, but still go after the things that you desire and want to do. So I'm going to kind of dive right in because I've been wanting to kind of talk about this maybe for a while, really. But there's this whole idea and this whole theory of marriage and family and home life being this 50-50, half and half as far as how we contribute and what we do and how we give to our family and our home and in the building of, a home and a life and a, lifelong commitment relationship that's supposed to be 50-50. And so I really want to put some of that to rest. I really want to debunk some of the myths in this whole kind of quest for this equal marriage and relationship. And it's not even just marriage. It can be in friendships and other relationships. Hey, Wanda, how you doing? But I really want to kind of talk a little bit about this whole 50-50, if I give the kid a bath, then you're going to do the next bath. If I change one diaper, you're going to change a diaper. If I wash a plate, you're going to wash a fork and spoon. If I drive them to practice or to see grandma, the next time you're going to do it. We're going to divide this thing down the middle and it's going to be equal and we're going to do it, 50-50. Y'all, I've got over 30 years in my marriage, happily married, 3 adult children. Let me just say this at the top of this. It's never been 50-50. It's because it's not a pie. You can't slice a life that you're building down the middle and it be 50-50. It just doesn't work like that. It just doesn't work like that. So I want to debunk some of that as to why it doesn't work well like that. And then I don't want to leave you there. I really want to give you some suggestions about what does make it work and kind of how you do dig in and everyone can get what they need without this, split down the middle. And I think trying to do that, I think making it a 50-50 deal is real. What you're talking about really is a tallying system, keeping a tally. 1 for me, 1 for you. 2 for me, 2 for you. And what that will lead to or can lead to is frustration. So if there is a lot of frustration in your relationship or tension in your home, I want you to be thinking about if this may be contributing to it. And what are some things that maybe you can put in place that can lower that frustration and lower, the feelings of resentment that I think a 50-50 tallying system kind of invites if you're doing it in that way. So whether this is a relationship, a marriage, whether it's chores in the home, whether it's a home-work balance, which, most people are trying to figure out right now how to get, my work done while still tending to my home and now the homeschooling of my children. The first thing we need to do with that whole homeschooling thing is realize, that you are a mom, maybe a wife, an employee. Maybe you are not a homeschooler, right? Now, hey, Darlene, how are you? Most of us did not sign up to be homeschoolers. I am not an educator, right? That's not what I do. So I want you to really brace yourself right now. We've never been kind of where we are right now. This is really brand new. And, I've talked to some moms and told them, we're going to have to kind of throw out the Pediatric Association's recommendation for screen time right now. They are going to have more screen time than what has been recommended, because what we're going through right now is of no one's recommendation, and we're really trying to be really great at it without really having to check this box of perfection. But if you are looking through a 50-50 lens at everything in your home and in your relationship, and it all having to be equal, this can really create an unhealthy environment of competition. I think there can be healthy environments of competition, but this can create an unhealthy environment. Anything that is keeping score. And if you're doing it 50-50, it doesn't matter how you slice it. You're keeping score, because at some point when you've done 51 and then they've done 49, it's like, well, wait a minute now. All right, so any kind of atmosphere and environment that's keeping score can lead to an unhealthy environment of competition, resentment, frustration. And what I've learned over the years is that I have to be really deliberate about the atmosphere and the environment in my home, because that's really one of the few areas that there's an atmosphere and environment that we can control. We really can't control the work environment. We really cannot control maybe how others see us. But I always wanted, when my kids and my husband and myself, when we drive up to the house and we're about to go inside, that there is a sigh of relief of being able to leave all of that other craziness behind, and not a sigh of, oh my gosh, I'm about to walk into some craziness. So, when we're talking about this whole 50-50 thing, really, I want you to be thinking about the environment that you have the privilege of setting in your own home. I remember somebody said to me, I don't know, the kids were small, and I was mad about something. I don't know, Cliff ain't take the trash. I don't know. I was mad about something. But I remember somebody saying to us, man, if mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. And I remember that not really settling right with me, because I was like, I don't want everybody's happiness to be, built on whether or not I'm happy. But what it did open up for me, it made me realize that I get to have the privilege to set the tone for the environment in my home. I get the privilege to do that. Not the burden, not the pressure, but there really is a certain privilege to know that I get to do that. And so I became a little bit more aware of that whole saying, if mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. Because I didn't want that. I didn't want, that's not the environment that I really wanted. So as we look at relationships, Darlene says, sorry, I have to leave. A parent is Zooming me. Thank you, Darlene, for what you're doing. Thank you for being the educator that you are, and for being there for parents right now. Girl, we need you. So thank you for popping in. In relationships even, we will unfriend people on Facebook. We will unfriend people in real life for several reasons. Either disagreement or different opinion. And I'm not talking about like disrespectful stuff. But sometimes we will just unfriend people just for disagreeing with us. We will unfriend, and not just on Facebook, but in real life as well. We will unfriend people for not giving us what we needed, even though, listen here, even though we never told them. We never told them what we needed, but they didn't give it to me, so I'm done with that relationship. I didn't get what I needed. They should have known. They're my friend. They know me. He's my husband. He knows what I like and what I don't like. He knows what upsets me and doesn't upset me, and he's not giving to, no. What you're really saying is, I'm going to disown you or unfriend you or be mad at you because you didn't read my mind. Nobody can read minds. No matter how much somebody loves you, no matter how connected somebody is to you, no matter how long you've been friends, we are not mind readers. And if you are irritated with people or concerned with why things are not being handled a certain way, or why the things you need aren't being done or not being offered to you, and you're not communicating about them, that's not fair to the other person, because no one can read your mind. And then the other thing we say a lot, and I've heard this so much, and it really, I kind of laugh at it sometimes, but I outgrew them, right? I outgrew that friendship, and I know, and I believe that friendships and relationships sometimes are seasons. We're close with somebody at a certain time, or, but I don't know that we outgrow them necessarily. I think I think life happens. I think life comes at us, it happens fast, and I think that there are times when we are more connected or maybe more available for a relationship than maybe at a different time. And I don't think that has to be ugly, and I don't think that anybody has to leave that with a particular type of attitude about it. I think that we should be willing and able to leave every relationship with the door open to continue that friendship in another way or at another time or when life slows down. But I don't want us to begin to throw away relationships because there is not this 50-50 down the middle. I was there for you. You weren't there for me. I did this for you. You didn't do that for me. Because I'm telling you, there is always some type of imbalance or variation in a relationship if we are using this 50-50 tally system, because it just doesn't work out evenly in that way. You can only cut a pie down the middle and maybe a donut. And notice how all my references are food because I'm hungry. Hey, Rhonda. But you can't. Relationship, building a life or a relationship or a family, or it can't be sliced down the middle like an apple pie. It just doesn't work like that. It just doesn't work like that. There is always some type of imbalance or variation if you're using this 50-50 tallying system. One tick for me, 0 to you, you owe me now. Doesn't work like that. And it may be a salary variation. Somebody may be making more money. It may be a job loss. It may be an illness. It may be a complete shift or change in a life circumstance. Listen, my mother-in-law, who died in February, was diagnosed with Alzheimer's a couple years back. My husband's an only child. So I had a decision to make, right? Because I don't know if you have anyone in your home or in your life or in your family that's been diagnosed with that. But as an only child, he was all that she had. So what sense would it make for me to get an attitude because, well, Friday nights is supposed to be date night. Well, life has changed for the moment. There's an imbalance right now. There's a shift. Hey, Paulette, how are you? There's a change. Something has changed. So this idea of it having to be 50-50, you need to do what you said you were going to do. He couldn't. And so having this thing about it all being split down the middle and all being equal and all being the same is not realistic. Wanda says, I'm definitely a work in progress. This is great, Debbie. Thank you. Girl, it's look, been there. But I don't want to leave you hanging. I really want to give you some stuff about how it can work. But I'm using that example about my mother-in-law because we don't know what's ahead. We don't know which one of us may lose a job. We don't know which one of us whose career may take off fast. We don't know, hey Desiree, we don't know which one may need the other more. So if you set the expectation that our relationship and our family and our building our life together has to be 50-50, you're already setting yourself up for disappointment and resentment. Because sometimes it's 60-40. Sometimes it's 80-20. We didn't know my mother-in-law was going to get Alzheimer's. We didn't know, as my husband being an only child and her caregiver, the time and the emotional energy that would involve. What would I look like saying, but it's Friday night. You said you were going to take me to a movie. Girl, bye. No, it doesn't. Life does not divvy up 50-50, half and half. Things change by the day and by the hour. And let me just say this. It is the relationship that is able to bend, the relationship that is able to make those adjustments, that survive. It's the rigid 50-50 that many times those relations break right in half. It's very difficult with a tallying system. How is that going to work? How is that going to play out? So things change by the day. Sometimes they change by the hour. But here's the thing, you've got to be open to negotiation, and what that involves communication. If you are not communicating what you need, and if it's not clear what is needed and how that needs to look, you cannot go on this, well, they should know. They see me struggling. They see me ask. If you see your partner is in a place and you're not sure how to meet their need, ask, what do you need me to do? What can I do right now? I don't even know what to do. What do you need me to help you with something? But because people cannot read minds. I don't care how long you've been together. I've been with Cliff over 30 years. There are times that I just have to ask, do you need me to help? Do you need me to do something? I just don't know. I don't even know what I'm supposed to do right now. If he loved me, he would know. If she loved me, if they were really my friend, we've been friends since we were 15 years old. She should know. She knows as a friend. No, she doesn't. No, she doesn't. She doesn't know what you need if you haven't said it. Stronger relationships can bend with the things of life that happen. The 50-50 relationships can be prone to breaking, and it can lead to a lot of frustration and resentment. So here's what I want to offer. Here's what's helped and worked for us for 30 plus years in. A rhythm of giving and outgiving each other. Being really free with your love, with your grace, with forgiveness, because we're going to need all of that back at some point. And so you got to be willing to sow it. You got to be willing to give it, not because anybody deserves it or has earned it, or their tally is equal to mine today, so I'm willing to offer it. No, we offer it freely. Doesn't cost you anything, and it's not going to be perfect. Life is not perfect, but that doesn't mean it can't be great. It doesn't mean it can't be great because it's not perfect. But if there can be a rhythm to giving and outgiving each other, then what happens is you get into a rhythm, a healthy competition of giving and outgiving. Cliff and I attended a marriage conference recently, and we still do those, where this couple was sharing about how they have a little box that they keep, each one of them, of stuff they need and want done or would like to see done, and they just kind of go to this box freely. So you got to determine the specifics of how that would look for you. But setting a culture and a rhythm of giving and outgiving each other is going to get you out of this whole 50-50 down the middle. We each need to be doing what we do. Here's the other thing that gets you out of that rhythm. Some of us just do other things and certain things better. How about the one that's best at keeping the money intact and the checkbook? I know people don't use checkbooks no more, but paying the bills on time, setting all that up. How about the one that's better at that just does it? How about the one that's better at cooking, which in our house is definitely Cliff Porter? How about that person does it? Look, he will cook up a bunch of meat on the grill, and that's what we eat on during the week. And I can throw a couple sides with that. I can put a salad together, some baked sweet potato. How about we find out where each other's zone of genius is and gifting is, and let each other work in that, as opposed to me having to cook half the meals, him having to cook half the meals. Why? If the goal is to get it done and to have peace in the house, how about we each get to roll and thrive in the thing that we do well? Here is a book that has helped us over the years, The 5 Love Languages. I think it's Gary Chapman. That's a great book, because what it allows you to do is to understand really how your significant other receives love. There's one for children, which as a parent was very helpful to know and understand how my children, and I didn't find out about this until, much later. They were probably teenagers or close to it. But it was a tool that I was able to use, right? I'm thinking that making sure the house is clean is, really ministering to somebody, when really they just wanted time. When really Cliff would have stepped over 5 loads of dirty laundry to know that there was a hot meal, or that I was waiting to give him a hug, because his love language was physical touch, right? So knowing how your partner receives love allows you to do that in a way that is not super labor intensive and doesn't require this 50-50 split, but still allows them to feel compassion and love by you. So that's a great book. I would highly, highly recommend that book. So this was it for today, guys. I wanted to throw a wrench in this whole thing about 50-50. Our relationship, our home, our chores, the balance in our home has to be half and half. It's never going to be half and half. Never. Someone said to me once, it's got to be 60-40 both ways. Stop keeping score. Stop with the tally. Throw that out the window and find a way to get into a rhythm of giving and outgiving each other, loving each other in a way that they receive love, getting that information from them on how, what is your love language, and also communicating what you need. Listen, stop thinking you have to sacrifice yourself for the betterment of the whole. No, it never works. If people don't know what you need or want, they won't know how to do it. You've got to find the rhythm for your own house. In our house, it's not a good look for me to kind of ask Cliff, can you do this? Can you do this? Can you do this? We keep a running list. We keep a running list of stuff I need him to do. It's on the counter, and he just kind of ticks away at it. Find the rhythm in your own home of what works. Listen, we are all together right now. Might be driving some of us a little bit crazy. Let's get some systems in place that can support us in what we want, in the atmosphere that we want to create, in the healthy atmosphere that we want to create. All right. So I'm here to support you. Send me a message if you need more, if I can help you in any way. All right. Have a great day. Get outside. See you guys later.